Hi, I'm Wendy Meads. I'm going to show you how to paint a fall tree. We're going to start with an ombre sky. So we're going to start with blue. And we're going to get it on our brush. And we're going to place it on the top. We're just going to go back and forth. Make sure there's water on your brush so that the paint will go smoothly across. And we're going to add some white to that. So we're just going to take our blue with a little bit of white, mix it together so you get like a lighter blue and a little bit more white. And back and forth. And we kind of blend it into that top part. Keep going with that beautiful color. For the last section, I'm going to blend lots of white and blue together. This is going to be the lightest layer. And then I'm going to go over, blend, blend, blend. Just go lighter and lighter as I get down to the bottom. And then once this is done, I'm going to let it dry before the next step. I'm going to show you how to draw a tree now. I'm using chalk to draw on my dry acrylic paint. You can also use pencil, but I find chalk easier. I'm going to draw a ground on the bottom, and then I'm going to do a trunk going up part way. And then this trunk's gonna go off this way. And then as tree branches go up, they get thinner as they go up. So all trees, I like to think of them like a Y. So I'm gonna do another branch coming off. And every branch that attaches is slightly thinner than what it's attaching to. So we'll just have this branch coming this way. Getting thinner. And the nice thing about chalk is you can just erase it if you want to. So we're going to make another Y here. This branch is going to attach like a Y. Let's have another Y. And it just keeps going like that. Tree is all drawn with chalk. I'm just gonna paint inside of the lines now. I have a bigger brush for the big trunk, and then I'm gonna use a smaller brush for the little branches. And I'm just using one color right now, burnt umber, or you can use any brown that you have. And I'm making sure I have water on my brush, and I'm just gonna fill inside of the chalk. You can use the side of your brush to get the edges you want. Just like that. And now I'm going to use a smaller brush for the details in the branches. And I'm making sure that my brush has quite a bit of water because then it will flow easier. And don't worry about the chalk right now because we're just going to rub that off when we're done. And then when the branch attaches, I usually give it a little thicker area so it looks like it's attaching on there. If that makes sense. And remember, it's all like a Y, so the branches are all at an angle. Now I'm going to mix a brown with a little bit of white, just a little bit, to get like a lighter brown. want that as highlights. So now I'm going to choose where I think my light source is coming from. So I'm going to choose on this side. I'm going to pretend either the sun is shining this way or the moon. And I'm going to take my light brown and I'm just going to sort of use my thin brush and just kind of lightly put it along on one side of the tree. It doesn't have to be a solid line. It can just sort of dot out a little bit. And then my light source is here, so I'm gonna go it just makes the tree look like it's 3D rather than flat. There you go, all these branches will have a little bit on them. Yeah, and then we'll do on this side, we'll just keep it all on the right hand side. And then I'm going to take my brown again, the regular brown, and I'm just going to blend that in so it doesn't look like sort of a solid line. It just makes it look like it's blended in more. And you're doing this all while it's still wet. So I put the highlights in when that brown was still wet, so it would blend together. My tree is totally dry. And now I'm just gonna, I have just a paper towel has a tiny bit of water on it, not very much water. And then I'm just gonna wipe away all of the chalk, but very gently, because I don't wanna start running all that paint away. I'm just gonna make sure that we have all the chalk off of there. There we go. Now we're ready for the leaves. So I have my two primary colors, red and yellow, and we're gonna mix an orange. So I'm gonna start with yellow. That's the easiest way to make orange, is to start with yellow, and then you just add a tiny bit of red and try that out and see if that's a good orange. Ah, it's a pretty good orange. There, first try, good job. Okay, yeah, I think that's a good orange. So now I have a bundle of Q-tips. I put about 6 together in a bundle. You can put as many as you want. And I tied them with a hair elastic. And now I'm going to start with the red, because you want to kind of start with the darker color, and you just dab it in there. And then I'm gonna start making my leaves with the Q-tips. So we're just gonna start using our branches as a guide, and you can kind of use the side of it or the top of it, and just lightly pressing. And you want to kind of have different shapes. You don't want it all in a straight line. You kind of want it to have different shapes, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to go on to the next one, and you just keep dipping in the paint. And then you are thinking about the shape. I mean, you're filling a lot of it in, but you still want some of that blue to show through. And I don't go all the way down. I like to leave some of the branches there. Here, I'll move this over here so I'm not always going over top. So while this is still wet, the red is still wet, I'm going to dip now in the orange that we made with the other, I'm using the other side of the Q-tips, but you can get new ones. And then think about, like we said, that we would have light coming from the right-hand side. So I'm kind of putting more of that sort of orange on that side. It's a little lighter. And then I won't put as much over here, but just a little bit. It's kind of darker over here. Next, I'm gonna dip a fresh set of Q-tips into the yellow. Okay, and then we're just gonna add that on top as well. to the ground down here. You can see I painted the ground brown, but we're gonna add some leaves down there to make it more interesting. So we're gonna do the same sort of thing, where we're just gonna put a few red, do some red down there, not too much. And we'll do a little bit of orange. But we're not filling it in as much as we did with the tree. We just want a little bit. And the yellow. So here's the full tree. There's the bottom. Like this video and give me a comment if you tried it. And subscribe for more. Have a great day. Bye.